From that very first job you ever had to your final day at the office, your entire career is shaped by, believe it or not, just 3 specific numbers. Now, these aren't just milestones. They're basically legal lines in the sand. They define when you can start working, what rules you got to follow, and when you can officially call it a day. So let's break down the 3 ages that really define your entire working life.
So what do you think they are? Seriously, if you had to guess the 3 key ages that matter the most when it comes to labor law, what would you pick? Keep those numbers in your head, and let's see how close you get as we dive into the very first one.
All right, every single career has a starting line, and the law draws a really clear one. This is the official age where you can sign a contract and get all the rights and responsibilities that come with being an employee.
And that number is 18. Yep, 18 years old is the legal gateway to the workforce. It's the age where you're seen as an adult employee, ready to take on pretty much any job without major restrictions.
Just to be super clear, this is the official minimum age for recruitment. Once you hit 18, the law basically says, okay, you're fully capable of entering into a work agreement. It removes the need for all those special protections that younger workers need.
But what if you're really eager to start working before you turn 18? Well, the law does allow for that, but it's not a free-for-all. It actually creates a whole special category with some pretty strict rules designed to protect you.
And the official term for this group is a young worker. This specifically means anyone who is 16 or 17 years old. So while you can be employed, you don't have the exact same legal standing as an adult worker, which means some important guardrails get put in place.
For these young workers, there are 2 huge restrictions you need to know about. First, your overtime is capped. You can't work more than 50 hours of overtime in a single month. And second, no late-night shifts. You're prohibited from working between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. These rules make the law's intention crystal clear. Let you get work experience, but also protect your health and make sure you have time for school.
So that's the starting line. Now let's jump all the way to the other end of the career, the finish line. Just like there's a legal minimum age to start, there's also a standard age when that whole formal work journey is expected to wrap up.
And that age is 55. In this legal framework, 55 is seen as the standard point where an employee can retire and, start accessing their benefits after a full career.
To be really precise, the source material calls this the normal age of retirement. It's important to see it that way. It's the standard, the default milestone for finishing up your employment, at least under these particular rules.
But wait a second, is 55 a hard stop? I mean, in today's world, a lot of people want to or even need to keep working well beyond that age. And yeah, the law does account for this, but it's not always up to the employee.
This brings us to a really critical question. What happens if you hit 55, but you're just not ready to retire? Can you just keep on working? Well, the answer isn't a simple yes. It actually all hinges on one key factor.
And here it is, the key phrase pulled right from the source. Notice those words, at the discretion of the management. This is so important. Continuing to work past the normal retirement age isn't an automatic right. It's a decision that your employer gets to make. It basically becomes a negotiation, not a guarantee.
So let's do a super quick recap of this whole journey. It kicks off at 16, where you can kind of dip your toes into the workforce with some protections. Then at 18, you dive in with full eligibility. And the standard finish line is set at 55, with the option to swim a few more laps if management gives the okay. These 3 numbers are really the core legal pillars of your career timeline.
Which leaves us with one last big question to think about. As people are living longer and our careers are becoming way more flexible, does a single, normal retirement age like 55 even make sense anymore? It's a huge question to consider as the very idea of what work is continues to change.